Hey, good morning. I'm your host, BKP, the voice of rural America. We are North Georgia's only live online morning show. And are we together? Is this post-eclipse hangover? Do you have post-eclipse hangover? Did you get your eclipse party on yesterday? Did you? Okay. Well, I have been looking through all the social media pictures, and you know what I didn't have to do yesterday after the eclipse? I thought it was awesome. I thought it was neat. You know, I've poked a little fun at it for the last couple months. The last month, the intensity that I was going to, I went to several eclipse safety meetings, preparation meetings by the emergency management in the area. So I attended several PowerPoint presentations. I was like, really? Wow. Yesterday, what I did not have to do was drive home. I didn't have to drive home, folks. You know, out in the front yard, kicked back, looked up in the sky, actually felt the temperatures cool in my front yard. I really enjoyed that. I liked the whole thing. I really did. I thought it was pretty cool. Now, there's only a couple things I would have done different. You know, if I'd have thought this out or been at a different point in life where, you know, I could be retired and I could care less what anybody thinks today. But then again, I'm almost there, right? At least half of it. But no, all jokes aside, if I could have done anything different yesterday, I would have had a lawn chair, okay? I would have had a good lawn chair that laid back, all right? I'd have had some super stereo speakers going. My pre-eclipse game show would be some Led Zeppelin. I mean, I would be blowing the speakers out on some Led Zeppelin, right? That would be my pre-eclipse game party. And then right as the eclipse was starting, now look, folks, don't take me wrong, okay, but I might have scored some good weed. I'm sorry, I wasn't going to go there, but I'm thinking to myself, settle down in the booth. The booth is going nuts in there.
Y'all, we did not tell him to talk about this online.
See, yeah, exactly. They encouraged me not to do this, but I can't help it. I can't help it. So, I mean, they encouraged me. It's like, please don't do this. Don't go do this. But I have to. Let me finish the story. Like, so, if I don't do that. God knows, now I can't drive through Blue Ridge, right? Johnny thinks I've scored some weed. Anyhow, so here's the thing, right? So I would have had the lawn chair out. I'd have had the eclipse glasses. Come on, how cool could that be? You know, scored a little, you know, red-haired Hawaiian. I don't know. I mean, I've just heard that's out there. I've heard you possibly could get that, you know. So anyhow, and you're sitting there, and I have the Led Zeppelin pre-eclipse music going. The only thing I would have done different, about the time the eclipse, I would have had this. Remember this one? Remember this one? Remember this one, folks? Remember this one? In Agata Davida, baby. I would have had the 17-minute version of this going. 17 minutes. I would have had this going. I would have had the psychedelic lights going. I would have had everything. And I would have made sure when the total eclipse hit, and it was totally out there, and the earth was cool, and the sun was no more.
Can I ask you a question?
Damn it, can you not see I'm in the middle of something? But go ahead if it's necessary.
Okay, you had a 17-minute song lined up for 2.5 minutes worth of eclipse?
See, this is where you go, folks. See the generational issue I have you out there know where I'm going with this. But the generation on the other side of the glass in the room doesn't understand. So let me finish for the kids out there, okay? Well, no, kids, don't try this at home. So anyhow, where was I at? So I have In Agata Davida going, right? And it's a 17-minute song. So I have it as and then the earth cools, the sun is no more, and they break into the drum solo. And for you out there at home, you understand the drum solo in In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida. Sorry, folks. That's the only thing I would have done different. But me, I went out there, looked up in the sky, came back in, said bada bing, bada boom. And then there you go. Okay, so here's the thing. I did not have to, I'm sorry, don't try that at home, folks. I was just joking. I really was just joking. But on the 2024 eclipse, I may plan better. So I saw I'm on the internet. I saw all the eclipse parties. I'm glad everybody, I really did. All jokes aside, I thought it was really, really neat. All right, I really did. I thought it was neat. I did enjoy it. Took a lot of pictures. Thought it was something just thought it was cool, okay? But I didn't have to drive home. That is probably the news story in North Georgia, Western Carolina. There was reports from Blairsville, from Murphy, from Towns County that there wasn't a dead spot between a car all the way down 515. I have stories Sam is telling this morning. Richie and Rose are telling. Rose went actually south yesterday. As she's coming north, she watched this massive amount of cars. We had people getting off the bypass here at 515 thinking they could weave through Ellijay. Didn't work. But anyhow, eclipse is over. We must move on. We must move on. I know you did not know how. And look, here's something I want to say. Stop posting your damn eclipse glasses. Excuse the language. Stop posting your eclipse glasses used once only at a good price. Stop. Don't put another pair online and tell me they're at a good price, only used once. The joke's over, folks, okay? Stop it. All right, anyhow, where am I at this morning? Let me go over a couple things. This is an unusual show. It's an unusual show to begin with. The host is unusual. And yes, if you must ask, I know I've had a couple of people say this. I have an appointment to get a haircut Thursday, okay? So don't ask me again, all right? I understand. I mean, I have an appointment Thursday, so for those of you that are curious, you know, what's going on. You may think I'm really out there doing, let's see. Here's the thing. This is going to be an unusual day, folks. You're going to want to stay tuned. At 8:30, this is not unusual. Every Tuesday at 8:30, we have Carla's Corner. But I want you to stay tuned, and I want you to tell your friends, because I'm going to start now, but I'm going to finish at 9 o'clock. As you well know, I give this President of the United States full benefit of the doubt. You know that, okay? As you know, for those of you that are new, I support President of the United States. I don't find issue with many things the President does. I have wholeheartedly supported his Twitter. I love when he calls Chucky the Schumer a clown. I love when he, you know, I'm a full supporter. So today's going to be unusual because you are going to hear me say, I don't know that I agree with the President of the United States. I know, it's like I heard the screeching of the 45 on the record player for you generational type. I heard the squealing of the tires as people hit the brakes, okay? I can actually hear people that listen to this show on the way to work as a talk radio format that actually almost swerved off the highway and had to get back on. I am not going to be supportive. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. But I think you're going to be interested because my show today is not in support of the President of the United States. I'm sorry. I had to bring it to you. And I'm going to tell you where it's at. We're going to go with this. I do not agree, okay? I do not agree with the Afghan policy. I don't agree. And I'm going to tell you why into detail. I'm not going to bore you, but I don't agree with the Afghan policy. The benefit of the doubt I'm going to give the president, he come out last night, he laid out a new Afghanistan policy, okay? The benefit of the doubt I'm going to give the President of the United States is, I'm going to give the President of the United States the benefit of the doubt that he hasn't tried it yet. But this is where Breitbart took on McMaster, right? H.R. McMaster. Breitbart took on H.R. McMaster. We were concerned about the warmongers, the globalists, This has me concerned. So we're going to go into that. I'm going to give you that. Let me go over a couple points right here. Tonight, Turf Talk. We start our high school football shows on fyntv.com. So starting tonight, next week we'll have a Monday night show, but Union Panthers were off this, did not play an opening game last Friday night. So tonight is our season opener for nightly high school football shows, 7 o'clock, 4 nights a week. Starting tonight, Turf Talk with the Gilmer Bobcats over at Circuit World in East LJ. 7 o'clock, FYN-TV. You go there. We're talking to coaches and players, and we start talking high school football. Tomorrow night will be Fannin Rebels will be Rebel wrap-up tomorrow at 7 with Coach Pavo. So that's tonight. We start that. Let me give you a couple other things. President of the United States is going to Arizona. A couple things to watch for with Donald Trump traveling to Arizona. Do you agree? Rose, I didn't put this out, but maybe we can. Rose, the social media director. Do you agree with would you support President Donald Trump? What would you do? Giving a pardon to Sheriff Joe Arpaio, is that his name, Sheriff Joe Arpaio? Would you agree to the president giving Sheriff Joe Arpaio a pardon? Okay, would you agree with that? We're going to find, I want to know from you. Also, President and Jeff Flake, the senator from Arizona, they're not exactly getting along. The president is supporting or talking about supporting a primary challenger, a Republican primary challenger. Excuse me, I got to take a drink here. Excuse me, just give me a second. You know, I got this cup for a reason, okay? Because my good friend that used to own the Beanery in downtown Blue Ridge, Linda Thompson, I would always go up there and work in the afternoons with my computer, and I'd go in the back and sit. And Linda would always come and tell me stuff. You know, she'd tell me this and tell me that. And she'd always say, you don't listen to a word I say. You just ignore me. Just ignore me. So before she moved back to Florida, she bought me this cup for my birthday. It says, I'm busy now. I can ignore you some other time. So I love this. It always reminds me of my good friend Linda down in Florida. Where was I at? Oh, by the way, President doesn't like Jeff Flake that much. We can tell, right? So he's going to Arizona. We're going to see what happens there. The mayor of Phoenix has said, please don't come, Mr. President. Tensions are way too high. So anyhow, that's going to Arizona. A war on terror. I have a question before we get started. Maybe I wanted to do this very methodically. 16 years. 16 years. We are actually, now it's been longer than that you know of. You only know of 16 years. But 16 years in Afghanistan. Now let me ask you this. In 16 years, couldn't we taken about 5 guys and gone door to door and just killed the terrorists one at a time, be finished in 16 years? I mean, sooner or later, I know what you're saying. Well, you know, that's really funny, but, you know, the caves and the terrain, I understand. It's just a joke. 16 years. Wonder why. Let's see. President said, here's a couple things that concerned me last night that I'm really going to get in deep. The president said that he's always heard the decisions are much different when you sit behind the desk of the Oval Office. And I can agree with that to the point. But my concern, this is what I'm going to open the door of, okay? I still support President of the United States. But my concern is, when he said last night in his speech, which was very good, very presidential, no grandstanding, did not politicize what we're up against, was serious about the subject. I respect everything he did in the speech where that's concerned. But when he said things like, and this is what I listened for, decisions are much different. I have always heard, it's not a quote, but basically he said, I've always heard that decisions are much different when you sit behind the desk in the Oval Office. Meaning that for several years, the President of the United States said, what are we doing there? Let's get out. Why are we spending national treasure, our kids' blood, on the soil? I want to know something. Why the hell do we keep leaving our kids' blood all over the world? I know it's how that sounded, but I'm not okay with that. I'm really not okay with that. I'm not okay with our treasure of our children and their blood laying on the soil somewhere around the world in a war that's unnecessary. I'm just saying. I'm going to really push the limits this morning of whether you agree or disagree, but I'm hoping we can all think out of the box a little bit and not go down the President Trump, put our blinders on and go down a trail, because that decision made behind the Oval Office desk concerns me of who maybe came in the Oval Office. What was the strategy at Camp David? What are we protecting over there? I don't like the minute they tell me they're protecting me. Let me tell you where I'm at on this. I'm going to tell you. There's going to be so many of you don't agree. So many. But I don't like it when they come out and they tell me that they're going to protect me, you, I, Ella J, North Georgia, all of us from another 9/11. And that this is the hotbed of where this is the red flags. This is where 9/11 was planned. We need to safeguard us from ever having another 9/11. War on terror. Those little things, they catch me. I'm going to tell you. All right, it's 8:17. All right. Here's the other thing that concerns me. I'm going to give you the reasons that I'm a little iffy, and I had to go and think this one out a little bit. Okay. Now, I'm not a foreign policy expert. In fact, we have fancy banners, okay? I could actually put up BKP, make me a damn banner, okay? I want banners. I watch MSNBC, I watch CBS, I watch all these losers, and they got banners. David Ignatius. Who the hell is David Ignatius? I get so tired of having to hear what David Ignatius. I wanted to say BKP. And I want the K to stand for know-it-all. Okay? That's what I want the damn banner to say. And then I wanted to say BKP, foreign policy expert. Because I'm going to tell you, I'm no foreign policy expert. I'm not. I don't know my Kastans, my Turkestans, my Yakistans, all the stands. I don't know all of them. But let me tell you something. I get so tired of watching these shows and somebody, we've got this foreign policy expert, and he has been locked up in a think tank. He's been in a think tank for the last 12 years. We've not let him out but twice to discuss this subject. What do you think, Poindexter? I'm sorry. Okay. Now here's the other thing. I get so tired of these people telling me. So here's the other thing. Okay. Lindsey Graham supported it. So I'm giving you all the red flags that made me nervous last night. These are the red flags. Lindsey Graham supported it, okay? I can't see across the room. Let me see what that's. I got them. I got a double pair in case I get BKP. Brian, Noah. I love it. Thank you. Foreign policy expert. Thank you. I thank you. The world thanks you. Thank you. There you go. All right, wait for the next. That's pretty good. I got to sit and take that in for a minute. That's all right. Okay, get that off the screen. That's a little over the top, Sam. But I like it. Don't lose it. We may need that. So anyhow, okay, let me see. Where was I at? Okay, so here's a couple of things, red flags, because we're going to have Carlos Corder. You're going to want to stay because you want to hear my reasons. I'm laying everything out. I'm going to show you reasons. I'm going to show you maps. I'm going to show you videos. All right, we're going to go to the video, okay? So Lindsey Graham agrees. Let's put this in the checks with the president. That scares the hell out of me, okay? It's just 2 weeks ago, Lindsey Graham's going around, concerned about the president's stability, his ability to serve, his sanity, okay? So now Lindsey Graham agrees. Pakistan, the home of where the 9/11, the mastermind was set up, bin Laden, the decisions behind the desk. Folks, this goes back to the 70s. I'm going to go, before I go to break, let's go to, you got the Jimmy Carter video? I know, I could have spared. Let's go to the Jimmy Carter. You got that one? Starts a minute. All right, watch this. This is where we're going to start, the Jimmy Carter video. Let's go with this one until I say stop.
Are essential to the success of our efforts. Recently, there has been another very serious development which threatens the maintenance of the peace in Southwest Asia. Massive Soviet military forces have invaded the small, non-aligned, sovereign nation of Afghanistan, which had hitherto not been an occupied satellite of the Soviet Union. 50,000 heavily armed Soviet troops have crossed the border and are now dispersed throughout Afghanistan, attempting to conquer the fiercely independent Muslim people of that country. The Soviets claim, falsely, that they were invited into Afghanistan to help protect that country from some unnamed outside threat. But the president, who had been the leader of Afghanistan before the Soviet invasion, was assassinated, along with several members of his family, after the Soviets gained control of the capital city of Kabul. Only several days later was a new...
Okay, we're going to start there. We're going to start there. That's the man. Kill my earpiece, Sam. Thank you. That's the man, okay? Jimmy Carter, all right, in the 70s, talking about Afghanistan. The Russians went in. That's the man that gave you the Mojahideen, whatever, okay? Which became the Taliban. Right there, okay? Let's go with, now that is back in the 70s, folks. That's in the Wayback Machine, especially before the kids in the sound booth over there. That's all new to them. But let's go to the new strategy for Afghanistan, March 27, 2009. You know which one I'm looking at? That's the name of it. It's called New Strategy for Afghanistan. It's Obama, okay? Let's go with that one, Sam, when you're ready.
Today, let me acknowledge, first of all, Your Excellencies, all the ambassadors who are in attendance. I also want to acknowledge both the civilians and our military personnel that are about to be deployed to the region. And I'm very grateful to all of you for your extraordinary work. I want to acknowledge General David Petraeus, who's here and has been doing an outstanding job at CENTCOM. We appreciate him. I want to thank Bruce Rydell. Bruce is down at the end here, who has worked extensively on our strategic review. I want to acknowledge Carl Eichenberry, who's here and is our ambassador designate to Afghanistan, and to my national security team. Thanks for their outstanding work. Today I'm announcing a comprehensive new strategy for Afghanistan and Pakistan. And this marks the conclusion of a careful policy review led by Bruce that I ordered as soon as I took office. My administration's heard from our military commanders as well as our diplomats. We've consulted with the Afghan and Pakistani governments, with our partners and our NATO allies, and with other donors and international organizations. We've also worked closely with members of Congress here at home. And now I'd like to speak clearly and candidly to the American people.
Okay, we're not going to go into the details on that one, but he is announcing in 2009. Now, Jimmy Carter goes back. This is in the 70s, okay? We're up to 2009, all right? We're up to 2009, and Obama has announced his new strategy in 2009. But why did he have to announce a new strategy? Let's go to, this is that was March 27th, 2009. Let's go to October 7th, 2001, Bush. Do you have that one, Sam? All right, let's go with that one.
Good afternoon. On my orders, the United States military has begun strikes against al-Qaeda terrorist training camps and military installations of the Taliban regime in Afghanistan. These carefully targeted actions are designed to disrupt the use of Afghanistan as a terrorist base of operations and to attack the military capability of the Taliban regime. We are joined in this operation by our staunch friend, Great Britain. Other close friends, including Canada, Australia, Germany, and France, have pledged forces as the operation unfolds. More than 40 countries in the Middle East, Africa, Europe, and across Asia have granted air transit or landing rights.
Well, it's like Jimmy Carter tells you that in the 70s the Russians went in, okay? So what he doesn't tell you is he is actually the president that set up and funded $500 million to the Medellin, whatever the hell they are. that became the Taliban, okay? It'll tell you that. Then, in October 7th, okay, 2001, George Bush says we've launched strikes in Afghanistan. Interesting. And then Obama in 2009, March 27th in 2009, okay? 2009, March 27th, all right? Obama comes out and says he has a new strategy. So he's got a new strategy. What did he do? He listened to his military advisors. What did Trump just get done with? Going to Camp David, listen to his military advisors. Now, we don't know if Obama did or not. You're going to take me to task, but there's something about this Afghan thing that really has me troubled. So he's got a new strategy. So let's go to Obama, October 15th. Now, folks, this is where he lies to the American people. The 80th time, okay? He's already lied 79 others. But this is where Obama lies to the American people for the 80th time, because what he doesn't want to do in 2015, listen to me close, what he doesn't want to do in 2015 is he doesn't want you to think he did not end a war. He's trying to win an election here. Now, you never left Afghanistan. You've never left, okay? You've been fighting a CIA secret war for years, okay, that has turned into full-blown in 2001 with George Bush. There's reasons. And then a new strategy in 2009 with Barack Obama. What is with this Afghanistan? Why every president? Now, the October 15th, 2015, okay, Obama comment that you're about to hear is so he can win an election. He lies to the American people and says well, let's listen to what he says. You got that one ready, Sam? It's the other Obama one. You only got two. It says October. All right.
Last December, more than 13 years after our nation was attacked by al-Qaeda on 9/11, America's combat mission in Afghanistan came to a responsible end. That milestone was achieved thanks to the courage and the skill of our military, our intelligence, and civilian personnel. They served there with extraordinary skill and valor, and it's worth remembering especially the more than 2,200 American patriots who made the ultimate sacrifice in Afghanistan. I visited our troops in Afghanistan last year to thank them on behalf of a grateful nation. I told them they could take great pride.
Okay, now that was the lie to the American people that 13 years came to a responsible end in Afghanistan. You've never left, folks. You never left. You never stopped fighting there, but that was the lie for the election. Now, in the first one with Obama, did you notice who was standing behind him? Hillary and Bob Gates. Hillary Clinton and Bob Gates standing there with his new strategy in 2009. So in 2015, he had to come out for Hillary and make it look as though he ended a war responsibly, which never happened. Never happened. Now, let's go to last night. You know the time I have up, right? Let's go to last night, and this is before we go to break, and then we're going to go to break. I'm running a little long. Let's go to Trump last night, August 22nd, 2017. Go to our President of the United States last night.
Tragic collision at sea, as well as to those conducting the search and recovery efforts. I am here tonight to lay out our path forward in Afghanistan and South Asia. But before I provide the details of our new strategy, I want to say a few words to the service members here with us tonight, to those watching from their posts, and to all Americans listening at home. Since the founding of our republic, our country has produced a special class of heroes whose selflessness, courage, and resolve is unmatched in human history.
Now, we will look at that at the 9 o'clock hour. I just wanted you to hear, in 2017, the President of the United States raise his hand and say, it's my turn in Afghanistan. I am here tonight to announce a new path forward. Huh. Really? New strategy. You will hear from last night that the president, made this decision with his military, the generals. You will hear some different things that I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt that we're not nation building, we're killing terrorists. But when he said behind the desk in the Oval Office, the decisions are different, it just concerned me. America, it concerned me. What are we doing? Okay? Because you see Jimmy Carter coming to you from the Oval Office. You see George W. Bush coming to you. Yes, this continued through. I mean, old CIA, George Bush's dad, George Bush, George W. Bush. I'm sorry to say, Ronald Reagan. But it went into hyperspeed with George W. and then Obama. And behind that desk, I'm your host, BKP. Stay with me at 9 o'clock. I want to hear what you think. 706-889-9700. 706-889-9700. chief@fetchernews.com. And follow us on Twitter at FetcherNews, at FYNTV, our YouTube channel. If you will join that, you'll always get a notification when we have a new post on our YouTube channel with all of our segments. And that is FYNTV, Fetch Your News. I'll take a break after this Carla's Corner, but at 9 o'clock, I'm going to explain all the reasons why I'm so concerned about what happened last night for our strategy forward for Afghanistan. I'm your host, BKP. Sam, take us to break. And we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. Sorry it took me an extra minute to get back. I had to go get some something to drink. Say goodbye to Carla. Check my text messages. Don't forget, folks, you can get involved in this show at any time. We have Rose over there, 706-889-9700 on the social media. You can text us. You can also send us a call or text the show, or you can send us an email. Email to chief@fetchernews.com or follow us on Twitter. Now, let's get back in here. I'm going to try to, before 9 o'clock, discuss qualifying in Blue Ridge. The city council and mayor election qualifications started yesterday. We have some people that have qualified. We'll try to get to that. And we want to be careful. We want to give you a warning. Be careful driving through Blue Ridge, but Blue Ridge, the city of Blue Ridge is much safer today than it was just the other day, because they have nabbed the middle finger bandit. Okay, he has been apprehended. You know, the guy that just gave the other guy over the Swan Drive-In, allegedly gave Steve Setzer at the Swan Drive-In the finger. He is off the streets, folks. You don't have to concern yourself. The middle finger bandit has been apprehended. I'm just wondering if there's a little bit of, I'm wondering if the chief of police, Johnny Searcy, let's see, okay, the magistrate, now I understand the magistrate signed the warrant, which is Brian Jones. This is his first term in office. What did he used to do? Oh, he used to work for Johnny Searcy. He used to be a Blue Ridge City policeman, but he's now the magistrate. Steve Setzer at the drive-in. I wonder how this all ties together. Well, we're going to keep working on that. Hey, by the way, that reminds me. Well, the middle finger bandit. I know you may be concerned about drugs in your town. I know you may be concerned about so many things that are happening in your city that you need to safeguard your children from. But the one thing you can rest assured is the middle finger bandit has been apprehended in the city of Blue Ridge. And you can follow that. Hashtag middle finger bandit. I want to make sure that's out there, Ross. Blue Ridge, hashtag. Now, let me ask you a question. I like Netflix. I'm going to get back into Afghanistan in a minute. My God, settle down. So I like Netflix. You like Netflix? So hashtag Fannin Cartel. That makes so many people mad. They're like, oh my God, oh my God. But you know, I started Fannin Cartel a long time ago. A long time ago. Back when the election was going on for the sheriff and a couple of their offices there in Fannin County, I started hashtag Fannin Cartel. That was a couple of years old. And it caught on, all right? I walk into places, people say, man, that always cracked me up, Fannin Cartel. So then Netflix comes out with this show. And it's called The Ozarks. And I'm like, damn. Well, no, I didn't really say that because we don't say that on the show. But I'm like, damn. So I started watching this. Because I like Jason Bateman. I always have like Jason Bateman. So it's Jason Bateman. So the Ozarks and Marty Byrde. And they're on the Ozarks there. The lakes. And Marty Byrde. What a show. It just makes me think of it's about money laundering. The show of the Ozarks is about money laundering, okay? Drug money. It's about drug money, laundering drug money. Jason Bateman is Marty Byrde. He is the guy, and he's buying up all these little businesses. There's little businesses that really just don't make any money, but they're ways. There's ways for the business to run cash through it and funnel the cash. Oh, the show is great. I love it. One season. It's called The Ozarks, right? And the drug cartel uses Marty Byrde, which he's a bright guy, and he goes into the Ozarks and he buys up all these little businesses that are not profitable, but he can keep remodeling the business to push cash through. I'm just saying. And then I've got the Fannin Cartel, and I'm like, damn. Fannin Cartel in the Ozarks. I don't know. So anyhow, let me move past that. You're going to watch the show. You'll understand where I'm coming from. Money laundering, everything. Wow. Okay. So, I told you this morning, for the first... It's Sam, we're going to push the first segment and this one together. I guess you got that, right? I guess not. Oh, I don't have my earpiece on, so it's not fair. She's probably saying, yes, she understands. I turned my earpiece on, I'd be able to hear what she was telling me. So anyhow, we looked at okay, Afghanistan. I want to know from you, do you agree with the President of the United States policy to go forward in Afghanistan, in the troops, and more troops in Afghanistan? Do you agree with that? Do you think, now, I listened to the President of the United States say this is about killing terrorists. All right, the gloves are off. So the President last night, Donald Trump, where Afghanistan is concerned, said a lot of things that I really do like, and I'm on target with, okay, if this is really the case. Gloves are off. He's ended all the regulations. He basically said, I went to Camp David and told, the military top brass, do what you have to do to end the Taliban. But he stressed it's time for Pakistan. The one thing I did enjoy is he didn't have to say Pakistan. He said Pakistan, all right? I say Pakistan. But, our last president of the United States just liked to enunciate Pakistan. He always knew, So the president tied in Pakistan and India. And I thought that was interesting, tying in Pakistan and India and Afghanistan and increasing the troop levels and making sure that the troop levels, that the generals have the green light to do what they have to do. The gloves are off. So we go all the way back, and I'm telling you right now, Jimmy Carter, okay, in July in 1979, around that area, Jimmy Carter authorized, unbeknownst to many of us, $500 million to set up the Mujahideen, all right, is that what they are? A terrorist organization, okay? That was in Afghanistan. So Russia goes in, and their claims that they set up the Mujahideen, the Americans said we set them up. because of the Russians went in. But that's not exactly true, okay? The Mujahideen, or whatever they're pronounced, all right? You just get past that, all right? They turned into the Taliban. As President Obama would say, Taliban, all right? Okay? So, if we really research it pretty deep, we created them. Yes, we created them. Okay, let's not get into Saddam Hussein and who created Saddam Hussein. Okay, that we liberated the Iraqi people from. So let's not get into that. But we created them. Okay, so let's look at a couple. 16 years, just since George Bush. 16 years. Are you ready to keep investing? Okay. Let me look at a couple websites. You know, let's see. I've got a couple maps. Let me tell you what I want, okay? And I'm going to go through this one at a time here. Let me see what I want, Sam. Pull up the one that says Afghanistan map. That just says Afghanistan map. Now, you might not be able to see that at home very clear, but this is a 2017 map. And it is breaking down where government controlled, Taliban controlled, the black areas supposedly are controlled by the Taliban, and contested areas is the red area. All right, that's where it's at. Now, if you look at some of those areas that's Taliban controlled, what you may not know is, let's go to the next one. I'm going to go to this one. Let's go to pipeline map. Okay? You keep hearing at home, the American people, you hear stuff like Kandahar. All right? Qatar, or is that what it's called? I don't know. Okay? Put my damn thing up. BKP, put my thing up so people know, you know. There you go. Foreign policy expert. It's just my joke of the day, all right? So, I mean, hell. So, look at the pipeline, right? Then go overlay the map, because it does for my screen. I have a map overlaid. You keep hearing Kandahar, okay? The Helmand province, okay? And when you look at those maps, go to the last picture, Sam, that's just a plain pipeline. The one that says pipeline. See that pipeline, folks? I wonder if behind the desk in the Oval Office, Steve Bannon is gone, out. McMaster, H.R. McMaster, won. I don't know. I'm not drawing any conclusions. Mattis, which I respect as the Secretary of Defense. Kelly is in as Chief of Staff. Okay. I told you when John Kelly went to Chief of Staff. Didn't I tell you on this show? When General John Kelly went to Chief of Staff, okay, and Mattis was out in the field, and then you started hearing the National Security Advisor, H.R. McMaster, taken to task by Steve Bannon. I told you on that day when John Kelly moved Bannon out. I don't know what the total negotiation was for him to leave, but I told you how many weeks ago that the President of the United States had John Kelly next to him for a reason. Okay? Not to just look. So many, and I say this because it's not, take that down, because I mean, that's enjoyable. We'll put it up again in a minute. But so many of you out there think that I'm being silly. But the Joe Scarborough and the Minka Brzezinski, we didn't get time to go into that, okay? But Minka and Joe and David Ignatius and Barnacle. I always have to say, what the hell is a barnacle, okay? Barnacle, they all get on those shows, CNN, and they wanted to lead you to believe, leave that pipeline up there, they wanted to lead you to believe that John Kelly, General John Kelly, was moved to Chief of Staff so he could settle the argument of who goes first at the water fountain in the West Wing. Yes, I know it sounded silly, but truthfully, that's, oh, they're going to fix the, no, folks. That is not. It's behind the desk at the Oval Office. That comment last night. Now, leave the pipeline. Now, I don't know my stands. I don't know my Yakistans and all those stands, but Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and India pipeline. You heard a lot of discussion last night about Pakistan. You heard a lot of discussion, folks, about India. Now, as the President of the United States, I think what he was trying to say last night, it's time for them to come forward and start paying their fair share. The pipeline, TAPI, also known as Trans-Afghanistan Pipeline, is a national gas pipeline being developed by the Asian Development Bank. The pipeline will transport to the Caspian Sea natural gas from Turkmenistan through Afghanistan into Pakistan and then India. Construction on the project started in Turkmenistan on December 13, 2015. The pipeline is expected to be operational in 2019. There are a lot of reasons, okay? The roots of this project lie in the involvement of the international oil companies and Kazakhstan. Damn it. Oh, excuse me. All right. That began back in the 90s as Russia, who controlled all of the export pipelines in these countries, consistently refusing to allow the use of its pipeline network. These companies needed an independent export route, avoiding both Iran and Russia. The original project started in March of 1995. We could take the whole show, all right? What is the truth behind the President of the United States saying, it's my turn to lend security in Afghanistan? For what? A pipeline, maybe? This is just one thought. One thought. I promise. I promise, okay? Now, you can take the pipeline down. Origins of the Taliban. The creation of the... Are you tired of the Taliban? Are you tired of hearing that we have to defeat terror? The war on terror. Are you tired of that? Have you had enough of that? The key phrases in that speech last night, which again, I told you it's an unusual day. I'm not really taking the president. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to put it this way. This is not like, you know, this is, I don't know. This is not the nicest way to put it. But if the President of the United States went to Camp David, and let me just say it like this, and he said to the generals, the gloves are off, kick their ass. Sorry. I'm sorry. You could be upset. But if that's what happened, he went, you know, he told Mattis, he said, the gloves are off, just start kicking ass everywhere over there. Go door to door, clean the caves out. I'm through with playing games. Okay, because I'm going to watch that, okay? It's just bothering me in my gut that, again, all the way from Jimmy Carter, with this government, that now Donald Trump, President of the United States, says, it's my turn to come out and give a major speech on Afghanistan. You see, let me ask you a question, folks. Oh, man, all right. Now, Donald Trump said he would handle North Korea with fire and fury, okay? Now, I know what you may think. You may think I'm off target here. That he would handle North Korea with fire and fury, okay? Donald Trump said that if the little whack job with the haircut lobbed a missile towards Guam or one of our allies, Mattis said there would be no such thing as a North Korean anymore. You'd never meet one. You'd never say, where are you from? And the person say North Korea. Okay? So all this, I'm going to call it, all right, saber rattling. That's what they called it, all right? I'm you know, that's when the media started. Okay, so And we can't take a chance of this guy with a nuclear weapon. So let me phrase it like this. I'll take a break and we'll come back. So you have a rogue nation with a dictator that's basically a terrorist himself, with terroristic threats, that's killing his own people, all of the above, by starving them to death. And he has the ability to strap a nuclear warhead to an ICBM and maybe launch it as far to Seattle to where the dreadlock hippies that's smoking some hash this morning may not know what hit them. Right? But then again, did the President of the United States come to the American people and give a commander-in-chief? Because let me tell you something, you should figure out how many. Hey, they're younger than me, most of them, except for a handful of generals, okay? I'm going to call them kids. You don't know how many of our kids are over there in South Korea where a conventional war breaks out and millions could die overnight, where this whack job in North Korea has missiles, millions 36 miles away in Seoul, South Korea, can be dead within hours in a conventional war. Okay? Did the president come out and give a speech to the American people on the seriousness? Maybe he did and I missed it. Now, I'm not saying he hasn't handled North Korea well. But why a major foreign policy? Why a major commander-in-chief speech? Why look at the American people and say, I'm going a new strategy in Afghanistan? Now, I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm going to take a break because we're going to talk about that. The Taliban. Let's do it Barack style. The Taliban. You know, hey, Mr. Taliban and Pakistan. I'm going to take a break on BKP. We're being very serious. We're breaking some things down here. Take us a break, Sam.
Ace is your helpful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge, we have your new house in stock.
Circuit World, brand name merchandise at unbelievably low prices. Furniture, appliances, and electronics. Circuit World is locally owned and operated, serving the tri-state area. Circuit World has highly trained professionals to help. Visit your hometown Circuit World today. 3 locations in Georgia: Ellijay, Blue Ridge, and Blairsville, Franklin, and Murphy, North Carolina. No credit checks, so let Circuit World deliver to you today.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Days Chevrolet in Jasper is dropping the hammer. Over $11,000 off MSRP on new Silverados. Just look what we've done to the price on this new LT Crew Cab. Save over $11,000 and pay just $32,500. And Days Chevy is dropping the hammer in a big way on all new Chevy Malibus. Save over $6,500 and pay just $17,900. The savings are real and they're big at Days Chevrolet in Jasper.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in Ellijay next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in Ellijay next to Walmart.
I've had the time of my life. I never felt like this before.
And I know. I'm with you. I'm back. My earpiece is off, folks, because I forgot to go get the batteries. There you go. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. Briefly, let me say at any time, this number is a 24/7 number, 706-889-9700, and then chief@fetchernews.com. You can follow us on Twitter @FetcherNews, @FYNTV. You can go to our YouTube channel, which is FYNTV, Fetch Your News. If you will subscribe, then if you will subscribe to that channel, anytime we put something new up, you'll get an alert. Tonight is our first high school football show of the year. We will be at Circuit World in East LJ at, is it started 7? Yeah, 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock live. You go to FYNTV.com. Now, if you're a subscriber, we will send out, if you find us on Facebook, we send out notices about 6:40 reminding you, FYNTV.com. Tonight is Turf Talk, Gilmer Bobcats Turf Talk. We will be there with Coach Wingard and some players and talk about Gilmer football, high school football for this season. And tomorrow night will be Rebel Wrap-Up in Fannin County, and that will be at Circuit World in Blue Ridge. Let's see, what else do I have? I got some other stuff we'll close with. Now, I understand in Afghanistan, let's put up here if everybody else is an expert in a think tank and they can drag all these people in, then I'm a foreign policy expert, which jokingly, I'm not a foreign policy, I'm not, but we're having a little fun this morning. Know-it-all foreign policy expert. I mean, if David Ignatius, if they could just keep dragging these people out, if Hillary Clinton is standing behind Obama when he gave his new strategy for Afghanistan, and Bob Gates, the defense secretary there, Secretary of Defense, then hey, maybe I'm a foreign policy expert. Take that down. Anyhow, I do understand, okay, I sincerely, I do understand that there's warlords in this area. It's the mountainous regions. You know, I understand all that. This is not an easy area to find all of these nomads or whatever they are. I mean, I don't know what. It's not easy to find all these tribes, whatever. So I understand there's a little more work than going door to door, but with our technology, okay, and let's not go into supposedly how close is it. Tora Bora, was that what it was? Let's not go into how close we actually came to bin Laden, okay, a couple hundred feet or something. I mean, you look it up when you have time, and we let him go, all right? So, stand down. I think we had the order to stand down. But what I'm looking at this morning is, this is a 2012 IP gas line, Russia to know next week if they are in, all right? These are some things I want you to pay attention to. The real reason for war in Afghanistan, here's another page. I don't know if it's true or not. In a nutshell, oil and gas, this is just something that's been posted. Do not believe the mainstream lies which have morphed from one year to the next. It began with the excuse of purging the Taliban and Al-Qaeda, where Osama bin Laden was hiding in the mountains somewhere. Who was blamed for the 9/11 attacks? We're not going there, but hey, there you go. So I think most people that keep up, let me see what else. To what extent do the Taliban control Afghanistan? I had that up earlier. I will come back to that. Who controls what? I actually, many of you may dislike it, but I went around the world this morning to look around at a couple other things. This is actually an Al Jazeera article that I read this morning. We'll get back to that in a second. Let's see what else I have up here. The origins, though, okay? Now, you continue to hear Taliban. The Taliban goes back to 1979 when the Soviet Union invaded Afghanistan in 1973. The Soviet Union brought their soldiers into Afghanistan, claiming to rebuild the crushing economy. However, the Soviet Union was resented by the Mujahideen, all right, which the Taliban evolved from, which Jimmy Carter, that we played at the beginning of the show, secretly came up with $500 million to create the Mujahideen, or whatever they are, that turned into the Taliban. And you're fighting them. At the same time, the Soviet Union and the United States were engaged in the Cold War. The U.S. was genuinely interested in the counterpower against the Soviet Union. Thus, the Soviet Union's interest into Afghanistan signaled the Soviets' increase in power and strength, gaining more and more power, take over the control of Central Asia. You got India and Pakistan, which has nuclear weapons, decided to fund troops to fight the Soviet Union. These troops were called the Mujahideen. All right? The Mujahideen were armed and supported by several countries, including the U.S., Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, right? Saudi Arabia. Under Reagan's presidency, Congress, which led by Democrats, decided to form a partnership with the ISN, okay, which would recruit the Mujahideen with support of Pakistan military extreme views of Islam. Folks, you have another president that has raised their hand and said, I'm next in Afghanistan. Period. It's my turn. So the benefit of the doubt I'm giving President Donald Trump, are you the president that ends all of this? Are you the president that stops this cycle well into Jimmy Carter? Are you the president, okay, that stops this? If you're the president that stops this, then you have my full support. But you said some things last night, President Donald Trump, that concerned me. You see, I'm not a globalist, right? I'm an elegiast. All right, I'm a Blue Ridge. I like North Georgia, whatever. As silly as that sounds, I'm not a globalist. I'm not. We have to do business on the global scale. We have to do business on the platform in the global market. But I'm not a globalist. I'm not interested in protecting everybody's oil and gas all over the world. Okay? Now, you got a lady that comes on every morning. Her name's Brzezinski, okay? Okay? We've got this thing, if we get deeper with the International Monetary Fund. Look at Brzezinski's dad. He was with Jimmy Carter. Just saying, okay? I'm not a Council of Foreign Relations guy. Just not. Just not. Not a Council of Foreign Relations guy. Just not. I'm not. All right? Things the president did last night makes me very nervous that the person we thought we elected to the White House is not who stood before the camera last night. Just saying. I'm concerned. We spent a lot of money. Okay? Spent a lot of money. We spent billions of dollars on something we created. Afghanistan, who controls what? More than a decade after the fall of the Taliban in 2001, the armed groups are still active across Afghanistan. This came out January 2017. Since the Taliban was ousted from power following a U.S. invasion of Afghanistan in 2001, the armed groups' control over power of Afghanistan have fluctuated wildly. Now, we don't have time we don't have time to go through each and every one of these. But I just want to say today that you're fighting again something that we created. You created it. The America, we created what's over there. We put it together. And we're fighting it. And when the President of the United States says we have to support them, and we can't let, there's key words. They play on our fear, people. Please accept, they play on our fear. We can't allow the region that the planning for 9/11 to go into corrupt hands. Really? We can't allow another 9/11. Really? We can't allow a terrorist to get, because we have Pakistan over there and they're no better off, right? We can't allow a terrorist to get a nuclear weapon from Pakistan and threaten the world. Why not? We got a terrorist in North Korea with a nuclear weapon that we've allowed to develop. Now you think of this, okay? I'm going to end with this because I've got some other things I want to close the show with. But I want you to take this away and we'll work on it some more. I call it 24 years of failed policy in North Korea, which we know is a lot deeper than that. It goes right after World War II. But I call it 8 years of Bill Clinton, okay? 8 years of George W. Bush, and 8 years of Barack Obama. Failed policy, 24 years. And we can't solve that in North Korea. Can't do it, right? But yet, for some reason, from Jimmy Carter to Ronald Reagan, stay with me, folks, Jimmy Carter to Ronald Reagan to George H. Bush, the ultimate globalist, right, George H., to Bill Clinton, to George W. Bush, to Barack Obama, and now President Donald Trump raises his hand and says it's my turn in Afghanistan. Interesting. North Korea, we have fought no wars, but we have failed. Afghanistan, we have been investing CIA money and building our own little terrorist networks up to take on what we called the bad guys at that time. Wow. Look at the timeline. I'm just saying. Just saying. Okay, benefit of the doubt goes to the president. I'm going to back him. I've got my biggest concerns. I want to know from you, am I going down the wrong track? I just want to know. What do you think? Am I going down the wrong track? I'm going to take a break. This segment's over for the day. I am going to go through the internet and see if there's anything new on it while I'm on break, but the segment's over for the day that you can find on our YouTube page. And if we come back, we're going to do 5 minutes of Blue Ridge, 5 minutes of Arizona, 5 minutes of something I told you yesterday. I want to make sure you hear it again today. Whatever. I'll be back right after these messages, folks. Tam, take us a break.